Hello, fans. Welcome back to the XFL Fan Zone. So we're entering Week 4, and what are the top questions for Week 4? Well, let's get right into it. First question is the same as I've had the last 3 weeks. What will the attendance and ratings be like? With all the home openers now out of the way, what will the follow-up crowds this week? This week, the 4 home teams will be playing their second home game of the year. Dallas, Tampa, New York, and St. Louis. We saw a solid performance from Seattle, going from 29 to 22. We saw Houston do 17 back-to-back. We've seen Washington go from 17,300 to 15,000, with the only disappointing people coming from LA for 15 to 12,000. Well, you have 2 teams. Dallas going the right direction. Dallas going the right direction. St. Louis going in the right direction with an enthusiastic fan base. And then you have questions like Tampa, who are going this game 0-3, and New York 1-2, and a whole lot of mess going on in New York. How will those crowds be this week? Well, we're going to find out. I think we'll do well in Dallas and St. Louis. Tampa and New York should be a bit of a question. Ratings have gone down, as we suspected they would. But we're still way ahead of the AAF was last week, and we're still ahead of NBA, the NHL, and college. Now, it is safe to say that gambling and fantasy football have a lot to do with that. Hey, good move on the part of Alpha Luck and Vince McMahon for doing so. Keeping fans interested in the game, too. The play has been good, and fans just like football. This is a football country. Baseball might have been America's pastime. Football has been America's present time for a while now. So, what will the ratings be like? And the other thing is, how are we doing on the apps? Fox Sports, ESPN app, DirecTV. You can get the games on DirecTV if you're on DirecTV. Those are a lot more traceable, I believe, than the Nielsen ratings. So, I'm not a real techie guy, so I'm just going to assume that. Even if you know something, please tell us. Question number 2, the rivalry this week between Dallas and Houston is finally here. I've been looking forward to this one for a while. I was hoping this would be the inaugural game, if you remember, a while ago. But we ended up getting a good one in Seattle and D.C. We have the 2 leagues' closest rivals in terms of distance. It is closer than D.C. and New York, so we have that. We have Bob Stoops and Drew Jones, 2 of the league's high-profile coaches. Landry Jones, the first sign in the face of the league, against P.J. Walker, the best player of the league right now. So we have a good quarterback matchup, we have a good head coach matchup. We have the battle of the Civil War. I'm calling it the Civil War, Texas. And we have another game either in Week 9, I think on the Thursday night game in Houston. Will the Houston fans travel the 4 hours to Dallas? Will the Dallas fans show up after winning 2 in a row? I think they will. This should be a good game. This is, to me, the game of the week right now. So that is question number 2. Question number 3: will the Tampa Bay Vipers actually win a game? Well, they got close last 2 weeks. They could have won last week against a very good Houston team, probably the league's best team. They were just that much off. You make mistakes against Houston, they make you pay. Now we know Aaron Murray returns this week. Will he start? Will it be Taylor Cornelius? We know it's not going to be Quentin Flowers. He has a leave of absence and is not being asked to be released or asked to go to Seattle or New York. Now, with Jim Zorn liking Brandon Silvers very much and having B.J. Jennings, why would he want Quentin Flowers? And I know we have our problems in New York with Matt McGloin, who's sitting out this week, but we still have Marquise Williams and Louis Perez. And Quentin Flowers is definitely not the Gilroy type of quarterback he would want to run his complex offense. So I don't know what Quentin Flowers is thinking, but they're home against DC this week. I give them a real good chance to win. Thing is, who starts? Murray? Will he be rusty? I don't know. Taylor Cornelius has done pretty good. Did pretty good last week. He moved the ball up and down that field with Quentin Flowers. So there is your 3rd question. Your 4th question: what will the fans in St. Louis be like this week? Last week, 30,000 people, 15,000 turned away. Can they duplicate that again this week, or at least just get to 30,000? Will turning 15,000 people away be a big turnoff to the city? I don't think so because they've already announced that they're considering open up the upper bowl for Game 3 against Houston. And that St. Louis-Houston game will be a very good game and a very important game too. I'm sorry, no, L.A. It's L.A., not St. Louis. And I'm sure the fans in St. Louis would like to come out and tell L.A. what they think about them, even though the Wildcats have nothing to do with Stan Kroenke. And of course, question 5. Will the New York Guardians, my beloved New York Guardians, get their act together? McGloin is out for this week, most likely because of the rib injury he sustained last week in St. Louis. Who will start? Will it be Luis Perez, the professional bowler, or will it be Marquise Williams? I would go with Luis Perez. He's more of a game manager. He's more of a Gilbride type quarterback. I'm going to say again, Marquise Williams is the guy you bring in to mess up the defense, throw them off. He's very mobile. He's a big boy to bring down, and he has a strong arm, so he can throw the deep ball. I just don't think he's as accurate as Luis Perez is. So, what will the fans in New York be like this week? 17,000 the first week, pathetic back-to-back weeks. The weather tomorrow is going to be on the chilly side. It's going to be in the 30s. It's going to be a little bit windy. We will see. So, there's your 5 questions of the week, and I'll give you a bonus. With the CFL players coming in this week, Derek Dennis to the Guardians, Monte Williams to Dallas, and C.J. Horn to Tampa. Will these guys play? Derek Dennis plays in a complex offense in New York, Gilbride. Mark Trestman is not much easier in Tampa Bay. And then there's Bob Stoops with Monte Williams. This should be interesting. I would like to see him play. I definitely want to see Derek Dennis play for the Guardians because we need so much help on offensive line right now. We have not been able to pass block well from Matt McGloin, and we have not been able to open up any running holes whatsoever. All right, let's get to the picks of the week. Game 1, LA at New York. We have a team, LA, that underachieved its first 2 weeks and then overachieved last week. And then we have a team in New York at home who overachieved their first week and has severely tanked it the last 2 weeks. LA is coming off a big win against DC. They're flying East Coast with 1 day less to prepare on a very, very cold field. And who will start for New York? Will it be Perez or will it be Marquise Williams? I am sure Winston Moss is preparing for both. As much as I want my Guardians to win, I'll be there tomorrow, root for them. I'm picking LA in this game. I'm going 26-20 LA. Hopefully the Guardians can win. We don't know. Let's see. What's pick another game here. I'll go with the game of the week. Dallas and Houston. At Dallas, I am taking Houston. Landry Jones had a couple rusty first halves, back-to-back weeks. He looked great in the second half, but if you make too many mistakes against this Houston team, they make you pay for it anytime. Tampa Bay only had a few mistakes last week in offense, and they paid for it. The Battlehawks had only 2 mistakes the whole game against Houston, and Houston made them pay for it both times. And since Landry Jones, I think, will do even better this week. He still missed a month. He's only pretty much halfway through his training camp, his own personal training camp, if you look at it. I'm going with Houston this one. I think it'll be a good game. I'm liking 29-23 Houston. Next, we have DC Tampa Bay. I'm going with Tampa Bay. They are due for their first win. They desperately need a win. DC is coming off a brutal loss against LA. They're on the road against a division opponent this week. I'm going to take Tampa Bay because I wanted to win. It is not healthy to have this lead, have an 0-14. I'm going to pick them for that reason only, and they're desperate. And they're going to be desperate. They go 0-4, you might say goodbye to their season. If you want to score, I'm going to say 30-20 in favor of Tampa Bay. And finally, our last game of the week, Seattle and St. Louis. I am definitely taking the Battlehawks. The Battlehawks have played well all 3 weeks. They're home. That crowd will be nuts. Seattle's got some questions. They got some kinks to work in that offense. The defense has been pretty good, but their offense, Brandon Silvers did look better last week. But Jordan Tamu and that balanced attack, they have the best balanced attack in the league right now by far. They run the best of all 8 teams, and it opens up the passing game for them. I'm taking St. Louis. I'm going to go 27-13 this one. So there is your top 5 questions and your picks of the week. Folks, enjoy the football action. We'll talk to you later.